Wild times.
It's the wild times. All right, Peter. It's a new year. It's a new wild times. I think you're going to do all the intros from here on out. I might not even show up.
Welcome to the wild times. I'm your host, Retep. These two idiots with me. One of them is Forrest Galante. You may have seen him on a world famous show, Extinct or Alive. And the guy who created that show, the Spiceman, right here, Patrick DeLuca himself. We're all drinking Fat Tire. Happy New Year, 2023.
Yes, Happy New Year, everybody.
And this is episode number 100 and maybe 9 or 10. 110, I think.
Good.
That
Good
was
intro.
That was like the Grinch just did the intro of a podcast.
I'm not a happy person. I'm an unhappy person. I told you that my neighbor stole something out of my yard. I have it on tape, and I've been furious ever since.
What was it that he stole?
Wait a minute. He texted me before you even. Let me just set this up because it's so funny. Yesterday, I texted Peter and I was like, "Hey, do you want to jump on and do a pod or just hang out today?" And he wrote back, "Hold on, where is it? Hold on, it's so good what you wrote." Can we please do this tomorrow? Nobody wants to hear my bullshit. Also, my neighbor stole my fruit picker out of my backyard, and I'm in a horrible mood, unable to overcome my anger.
A fruit picker? The thing that used to get the high oranges?
Let me set it up for you, okay? This is a wildlife podcast, and this is some wild shit. That involves trees. So my neighbor has a tree in their backyard that's essentially destroying the wall that separates our yard. It's like lifted up, pushed out, like there's vines growing through it. And I called them, talked to them. I had 3 people come out and look at it. They all said that if you keep letting this tree grow, it's going to burst through your pool, and the roots are searching for water, and it's going to cost thousands of dollars to repair. So I finally get after months and months, they have somebody come out to deal with the tree. They don't fix the fucking problem. They just trim the tree, and the tree's still there with all the roots and everything. And so I sent him like an email. It was negative, and I was just like, you didn't fix the problem. So on the 18th, now I find this camera footage on Christmas Day.
You have
so
it? Can you show this footage?
I have it. I'll try and bring it up, or Kyle can edit it in. It's at night, so it's hard to see. But I scoured the footage because I noticed that the picker it's a red extendable fruit picker that you use to pick the fruit that's too high. And it's very infuriating because it's fruit season and I can't get to these goddamn oranges. And so I see
fruit season.
Yeah, it's fruit season, guys.
Some beautiful fucking
go to
oranges.
Ralph's. All the fruit in season. It's fruit season.
Nothing beats a fucking orange fresh from this tree, dude. So I see that it's missing on Christmas, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So I break away from Christmas, and I'm scouring the security camera footage, a week's worth of it, to try and figure out what happened. So I narrow it down to the night because I see it's there the day, missing the next morning. And then I go through fucking literally like 5-minute increments until I see the motherfucker come out of the house, walk over to the east side of the wall, yoink it, fucking go, puts it on the side of his house, walks back in, shuts the door. And I'm just like, I was so furious, dude, and I've done nothing about it. What am I going to do? Call the cops? Like, what are they going to do?
Have you said
Nobody
anything
cares.
to the neighbor?
Yeah, I sent them many a threatening message. Not like threatening. I told him I was going to call the cops. I was like, I have you on tape at 7:28 p.m. on Sunday night. Like, somebody walks out of your house.
It's like the Grinch who stole Christmas. He came the day before Christmas and stole your picker?
Well, this was the 18th, but nevertheless.
Oh, okay. Good God.
But I'm much happier now. Got my fat tire, getting ham-bone fisted.
That whole thing, we're just kicking it off with like a big aggressive rant.
Happy New Year.
Wait, did he respond to the fruit picker inquiry?
Oh, this is even better. So get this. So the whole thing's a fucking mess, first of all. I coordinate with the sister who lives in New York because the mom is nuts and won't interact with us. And the brother takes care of the mom's property or lives there, some shit. So I got the brother's number, sister's number. I send them a group text to the both of them. And I say, I'm like, hey, listen, I think you might have borrowed my red extendable fruit picker on this day and this night. I'd like it if it was just back where it was by tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Nothing back. And then I say, I've got cameras back there. I've got it on tape. If you could just please put it back so I don't have to get the police involved. And she accidentally texts back the group instead of just her brother.
Oh, no.
And it's just like, what? It's not like we're plotting revenge on him or something. And then, clearly like something she's saying to him. And then she's like,
oh my,
wrong thread. Sorry, Peter. I'll ask my mother about it.
Oh,
and that's
boy.
the last I've heard of it.
Oh boy.
Wow. Well,
sorry.
Happy New Year.
No, this
apologies.
Is good. If you're new to the Wild Times, by the way, if this is your first podcast, this is a podcast about Nextdoor, the neighborhood security system, and Peter is the president of the company.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Fucking hell.
Wow, that's really funny. Man, we could have had some fun with that. Like, you could have...
Listen.
We could have burned some DVDs of him getting caught and, like, planted them in the mailbox and dressed up some fruit pickers and put them in his yard as like scarecrow fruit pickers. Like,
dude, the fruit pickers are $40 a pop. I want mine back. Fuck that.
I would have invested. I would have bought 7 of them for your prank.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah, it's easily worth it.
You guys are rich.
So let's kick off the new year on a good note. Anything good for us? Anything good happening in the natural world?
Oh.
In the world of wildlife, nature, conservation.
This is a little segment
adventure.
we like to call What's in the News?
Sir,
What's in the news? Yes, there's something very exciting leading into 2023. The United States has finally decided to ban the sale of shark fins.
Ooh, nice.
Wait, you're telling me that shark fins weren't already banned?
Isn't that crazy? And I think that's the general misconception, especially in places like Florida. Shark finning or not necessarily shark finning, but catching sharks, cutting off their fins and being able to sell them has been legal this entire time. So all of this outrage about shark finning, and especially the U.S. putting pressure on other places around around the world, we've been doing it right here at home. So it's only now for the first time in 2023 that the Shark Fin Sales Elimination Act is going to be approved by President Biden. So it's long overdue, and it's a huge move for conservation of sharks. It's crazy that we haven't done it sooner.
Who's the lobbyist for pro shark finning? There's it's not like a huge. I mean, I've lived in the U.S. my entire life. I've never been offered a bowl of shark fin soup in the U.S. It's not a huge billion-dollar industry.
Well, it is, but not necessarily.
They go overseas.
Right, not necessarily here. So there is, look, I'm not fully up to speed on how it breaks down per nation, but we do undeniably pick up shark fins in the United States and ship them overseas. It's not as big as places like Costa Rica and Central America, but it is a big industry. But it just shouldn't be. It's like one of those sort of hypocritical things that we've been doing in the States. We have all these activists and lobbyists and outspoken soccer moms being like, stop shark finning. But they're yelling at people in Central America and Indonesia, which, don't get me wrong, we shouldn't be promoting it anywhere. But they're barely getting by. Meanwhile, here at home, on our own soil, it's been going on this whole time. So
how many sharks, I just looked it up, Peter, for us, guess. How many sharks do you think each year are killed because of shark finning? Estimation.
I'm pretty sure I know the numbers. So Peter,
according
you go
to the
first.
Monterey Bay Aquarium,
I'll go at 25,000.
What a good guess. Is it 800 million?
100 million
100
sharks.
million.
Holy shit.
100
a year?
Per year.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if you look at shark populations, Forrest and I did a thing about, we never filmed it, but it was an episode we were going to do about the USS Indianapolis.
That's right.
And it's a famous shipwreck where it was actually the ship that delivered the atomic bombs that were dropped on Japan. And then shortly after that, it got torpedoed somewhere in the South Pacific, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And
Near to Guam.
went down, and a lot of the guys who survived the impact and the ship sinking were killed by sharks. And it's not,
Yikes.
Forrest, you assume that it was maybe a big school or a big group of, not school, but a big group of oceanic whitetips?
Correct. Oceanic whitetips, most likely culprits.
So
terrifying.
So when we were researching it, it's like the population of oceanic whitetips now versus then it's at like 2% of what it was during World War II.
Like if you can find one.
We really got them back, didn't we?
If you can find one, it's like really good. And like you film it and it's exciting. There's like one or two hotspots in the world where you can go that you're most likely going to see one, versus back just during World War II, where they used to follow warships to eat garbage and things like that because there were so many of them around. They would just be following ships and waiting for things to get thrown overboard. And yeah, no, it's absolutely crazy. But good news nonetheless. The fact that it's getting signed in 2023 is huge. It's a big step for conservation. It's a nice put your money where your mouth is for the United States, I feel like. So that's a big step.
What do you think the enforcement will be like that? Like, so let's say this is like, is this like guys down in the Florida Keys that are finning sharks down there?
I think so. I think Florida is a big one, Louisiana, like all over the Gulf of Mexico. I think we even do it right here in California with soup fin and dogfish and things like that. I'm not really sure. But the enforcement has to be.
If you're not watching, Pat just got very angry and threw something at his daughter who's across the room off camera.
No, I threw something at the glass door in the office because my dog is like ferociously trying to like pound through the door, and I thought it was going to break the glass, and is now doing it again. And the door is like shaking off the hinges. That's really pissing me off.
Fucking dogs. Should make dog fin soup, no? By the way, so shark fin soup, and I know we want to move on, but I'm always dog-legging. So the problem with this is that they're using just the fin, and then they throw the rest out, right? Is that like the biggest issue with this?
That is the problem. One, they horrifically just slice the fins off and throw the animal back, so it's incredibly wasteful. But two, it is such a high demand because it is such a delicacy in Asia that it is driving shark populations to utter collapse. So sharks are at the top of the trophic cascade, right? Top of the food chain. And when you remove a whole lot of animals at the top, you have big trophic cascade effect, big disaster going down the food chain. Without shark fin soup fishing, 100 million animals a year would remain in the ecosystem, controlling and regulating and creating a healthier ocean. So the big problem is it's not even the fact that people are eating shark. It's the amount of sharks that are being killed, the amount of fins that are going into consumption, and thus creating this big market that ultimately can lead to oceanic collapse. That's the problem. It's not, if you're like, hey, I went out there and I caught a shark and I ate it, and I did that once in my life, that's like not really a big deal. I wouldn't recommend it. It tastes like shit. This is kind of interesting. Sharks piss through their skin. They release urea through their skin, which means all the urea, all their piss comes through their meat. So if you're eating shark meat, you're just eating pee tasting like white meat. It's disgusting. So,
ew. I mean, that sounds fucking horrid.
It's gross, and it doesn't taste good. That's why you have to like soak it in milk and all these things that people do. So anyway, my point being, it's actually not that bad to eat the odd shark here and there. I'm not saying go out and harpoon a white shark. I'm just saying, like, if you were fishing and you caught an angel shark or something like that, and you were like, I want to eat it, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It's the fact that because it's wow, did I just get a stuttering problem? It's okay. Because it's sustainable, but no, go for it. It's because it's sustainable to do that.
Yeah.
What's not sustainable is 100 million sharks a year that is going to shift the food dynamic. So anyway.
100 million? I couldn't have even, it was like insane. I said 25,000. 100 million? That's like, that's a third of the population, a fourth of the population of the United States. And sharks are as big as humans.
So plenty are a lot bigger.
It's fucked up, man.
So yeah, but anyway, that's a bit of good news for sure.
Good news,
which is nice.
Love it.
Okay, so a few weeks ago, I went on a little bit of a rant. No fruit picker rant, but a little bit of a rant.
Few things are, man.
About how we do this thing in conservation where we make an animal a poster child, right? and then we create some problem associated with that animal. And I'm referring specifically to P22. If you guys remember, a few weeks ago, I was like, look at what they're doing here. Now they're saying P22 has to be caught, or she's becoming a problem animal because she's stolen some chihuahuas, I think. And this is so dumb because ultimately something bad can happen to this animal after they've built up this whole storyline around her, right? Remember we discussed that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but sure enough, celebrity mountain lion famed P22, who lived in the Hollywood Hills, has been euthanized.
Yep.
Oh, girl, pour one out. Pour some fat tire out.
Yep. Pour
It
one
was,
out.
you know, he was 13. 10 is the average life expectancy for a cougar in the wild.
Yep.
And he had been hit by a car.
Right. Well,
And
that's the
likely
sort of
why he was
right.
coming down into the neighborhoods and
Look at
eating
this
chihuahuas.
young, handsome picture of P22. What a stud, dude.
Yeah.
My God, what a handsome animal.
But it is sad. But like you said, 13 years old, lived a long,
Had a good
and
run.
successful life, preying primarily on Beverly Hills Chihuahuas, I believe.
Isn't that a movie? That's a movie, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, great movie. Anyway,
Yeah,
just-
but he ended up getting euthanized. I mean, obviously my conspiracy brain says, nah, they claimed he got hit by a car, that he was on his last legs. But you say, I mean, you would probably say that's likely to be true, right, Forrest? Because I remember you were talking about
sure.
he wouldn't be attacking Beverly Hills Chihuahua unless he was injured.
Exactly right. And if you find somewhere is the Guardian article, I'm just quickly Googling, trying to find it. See if you can find it, Peter, and you can pull it up. If you scroll down about halfway, you can get to a photo where P22 is like covered in mange and just, and this is just a few years ago, and you can just see the cat's getting old. Like you can just sort of see it on his face.
Right.
But anyway,
getting old, and clearly the behavior was indicating that something was off, right? Because that creature, when healthy, doesn't need to go into backyard and eat fluffy.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think he had been.
Oh, here,
I might be
right
wrong
here?
about this. Yeah,
that's the one.
but he had been kind of camped out in this, like the overgrown brush. Yeah, he's covered in mange.
Yeah.
No, wait. I don't think cats get mange, do they?
They do.
Okay. Did you know, by the way, that mange is the same mite that causes scabies in humans?
I did know that. I recently learned that, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've evolved to have it not kill us, but it often leads to the death of the animal.
Right.
That's terrible. Some disgusting woman that my roommate in college was dating brought scabies into our college house. It was terrible.
That is
I didn't even know like it was like a really real thing.
It's like, I feel like it's such a filthy Midwestern thing. I mean, I was down in like Podunk at Western Illinois University living in a house that cost $250 a month or some shit.
Oh, man.
It was like a filth shithole. This is a majestic picture though of P22.
It is.
Really
Oh
like
yeah, it's
this.
like one of the best ones ever.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Beautiful animal.
Yeah, it's funny. NBC News they kind of do like their year-end wrap-up of like all the wildlife stories, and P22 is their headline story of 2022.
Oh, interesting.
Good on 'em.
Let's do this. Let's take a look back since last year just ended.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this.
For you, what was your best moment of 2022, or the biggest moment? Could be something you saw in the news. Could be some. What was like the biggest thing that happened to you last year?
Peter, go for it.
Well, I had a child, which is
You probably should
pretty
lead
insane.
with that in case your wife listens.
Yeah.
It's completely changed and destroyed my. No, I'm just kidding. It's changed me as a human being. I haven't taken a shower or slept in 4 or 5 months now. But overall, it's been good. Been good. I
What about you,
stink.
Forrest?
My biggest moment of 2022, I have 2 moments that instantly come to mind. Okay, the first one is sort of selfish. It was finally getting to go to Papua New Guinea for that Shark Week show. Huge bucket lister for me. I got to hang out with that tribe and catch those cool sharks. And of course, the highlight of that was getting to see the shark actually walk out of the water. That was huge.
Oh, yeah.
Good for you for opening another one, by the way. Cheers. Delicious fat tire.
Cheers. I got
Cheers.
3 sitting here. I'm good to
Attaboy.
go.
Now, that was moment number 1. But I think the moment that maybe rattled me the most, that had the most impact on my overall like thought process, functionality, aspects for the future, was when Colossal announced that they're bringing back the woolly mammoth, and that it wasn't like a hoax. It was the real deal. Like that it's actually happening. Like I remember hearing that. I know we discussed it on the pod and have brought it up several times since, but I remember hearing that and just being like, what fucking world are we living in? Like, are we really bringing, I don't get cell phone service. If you look, my phone says SOS right now. I have no cell service. I don't have cell phone service at my house, but we are bringing woolly mammoths back and putting them into Siberia. So
crazy.
It just sort of like my whole thought process changed. And I was just like, everything that I've always thought is not possible is possible. Like, I am going to see a thylacine in my lifetime. It probably isn't going to be one I find. It's probably going to be one that someone makes in a lab. Who cares?
Well, yeah, or Charlie dressed up like a thylacine. Or
Charlie dressed up as a thylacine, yeah.
Still got to do that.
We do. But, yeah, I don't know. That was just like, I just like couldn't. It was like the only time I think of the year I sat back and just did this like little bit of reflection, self-reflection was like, what? Like, am I living in the Matrix?
I know.
Yeah,
so, I know.
How about you, Spiceman?
Well, it's too hard to think of, and I asked the question, so I'm just going to go with the number one moment from reliable news source CNN. Their biggest moments of 2022 was the moment Lizzo played a centuries-old flute.
Yikes!
That's their.
Come on.
That's their
that was big for you, huh, Pat?
It was huge. I mean, as they wrote, she went into the Library of Congress, played a few notes on James Madison's rare crystal flute. And I was just like, holy shit, man, anything's possible, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I could see that being really impactful to you. I did not know what Lizzo looked like until this very second.
She's very, very popular. I will say that the...
Voluptuous.
Yeah, I know her songs. I've sung along to them in the car in secret. I just didn't know that's what she looked like.
Well, she played a 200-year-old flute. That was my biggest moment. Yours were like actually grounded in, I will say this. My number one moment, now that I think about it, was when I saw the two wolves in the wild in Yellowstone.
You talked about that several
in the
times.
snow, big snowflakes.
Oh, that was amazing.
Like 400 yards from the vehicle, and just seeing them dart. And one of them was white. It was just incredible. It was like I'm one with the wolves. That was very memorable for us. So I got a real kick in the old nutsack.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I can't talk about what it is, but I'm going to film a pilot outdoor.
Real quick. Peter, did you think he was going to announce publicly that he got the snip? Did you think that's where he was going with that?
I was hoping so, because we don't need any more little Pats running around.
Gotta get one more through.
Good luck.
So going to film this sort of outdoor. It's a pilot, which I haven't done a pilot in years, but
cool.
Excited about it. In a few weeks, like 5-6 weeks, right?
Cool.
And I was excited because I was going to be going to a place I'd never been. It was going to be going to the Ozarks.
Very cool.
Real wintry. You know how I am. I love the winter.
Uh-huh.
Love to be up in the forest and the mountains and the snow, doing some camping. Never been there.
Yep.
Excited. Well,
very exciting.
Network decided to go with the other episode.
Okay.
So now I'll be trekking through and camping in the Everglades for a week.
Yeah,
you're gonna die. You're dead. Pythons.
It's just my least favorite place. It's beautiful and amazing, and there's so many creatures and critters and crocs and alligators living in the same water and bull sharks.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to be camping?
Unforgiving.
Oh, yeah.
At least for like 3 or 4 nights, yeah.
Dude, I was just there. I remember did we talk about this on pod, the sawfish that I got finally on my bucket list? And
I remember talking about a sawfish. I don't know why.
Then we must have. I don't know if I just texted it to you guys or whatever. But anyway, I was just there literally for one night, and I had forgotten how ruthless it was. Like every time we were road cruising, meaning driving around the Everglades looking for shit on the roads at night, and every time you stop and get out the car in December, when it's like the coldest and least buggy that it gets, and you're like, whoo, it's hot and buggy out here.
Yeah.
You're like out of the car for like 35 seconds at a time at midnight.
Dude, I was looking. I was like, what's the weather? Maybe it won't be that bad. fucking average temperature is 80 during the day in the beginning of February. I'm like, oh my God, the bugs are still going to be there. It's a place, I described it in the write-up as a place where the bugs and lizards have won.
Yeah.
Like they've won.
They have.
Yeah.
They have.
Like you'll just pick a bug, you'll feel something on your head. You're like, oh no, I hope it's a lizard at this point because you can feel it's big. You pick it off and it's an undescribed insect.
Yeah.
And you're so annoyed by it and creeped out, you just throw it and you're like, I'm not taking the time.
Dude, the worst part for me, and I love going to the Everglades, by the way. Like if I didn't live in California, I'd probably live in Florida, which is a hell of a statement. But the no-see-ums, dude. These little fucking things that you cannot see that drive you absolutely insane while you're like standing outside. And it's like you're a crazy person. Like you're standing there and you're like, my skin is melting and I don't know what's wrong with me. And you can't see anything. It's like you're a fucking crazy person.
I'm seriously considering, I'm not even really being funny. I am going to look into and maybe do a test run with an adult diaper because dude, because honestly, you take your pants down to take a little sneaky pee-pee, you're getting 2 to 3 bites on your nether regions.
Straight up.
Guaranteed every time.
Straight up.
And you're guzzling water because it's hot and humid.
Yep.
So you're peeing 15 times a day.
Right.
End of the day, you got between 30 and 45 bites.
Yeah, you do the math. That's a pecker full of bites right there.
Dude.
I would be pretty excited to see like some behind the scenes. Are you going to be able to get some behind the scenes of yourself out there that we could pass along to the brosteners and the
Maybe.
Patreons?
There's just going to be me just questioning everything about my life decisions.
Can we send Kyle with you to maybe get just for like a day or two?
I'll try to get him on it. Yeah.
Send Kyle to film the producer. Not to film the show, just to film the producer.
Just total backstage shit. What do they call that? EPK? Get an EPK kit.
Something like that. You know, I hired Kyle to do that on the silliest thing I've ever been a part of. and it basically, it was 2 days. I was like, you have no direction, just film behind the scenes. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Just film behind the scenes. And basically spent 2 days on set with Kyle just filming me with a camera. And I would just be like, stop, Kyle. Just go away. Take a break. I'm not interested.
It's perfect. It's perfect. He already knows what to do. But that's miserable, dude. I would not survive the Everglades, and I'm wondering, like, are you on TRT? Like, have you been doing testosterone, Pat? I've been meaning to ask you. Honestly.
How did you pivot from? I'm excited about the Everglades to
a normal dude Pat's age would who's trying to have who wants to have another kid, who's got a family, would not be doing this. They just wouldn't unless they were shooting up steroids.
Let me tell you, TRT lowers your sperm count, pal. So I can't even consider it until after I, like I said, get another one through at some indetermined point.
Yeah.
No, I'm not above it. I mean, Joe Rogan really sold me on it. He makes it sound great.
He really does. He's like, I remember listening to one of his podcasts where he literally goes, every man over 40 should be doing this. And you're like, 100%. You're like, yeah, all right. Well, I'm nearly 40, so.
Not to steal his joke, this is a Joe Rogan. He said something, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something. He's like, if like you go to a nice resort and you go to the pool, he's like, there's like some guy who's 60 and he's like sitting there eating a BLT off his stomach and like, dipping in fucking ketchup in his belly button and his fries and he just looks like shit and he's falling asleep. He's like, and then you look over and there's like a strapping 60-year-old with like his beautiful wife throwing her around in the pool. He's like, that guy's on TRT. I'm like, that sounds great. I want to be that guy.
I want to be that guy right now.
Yeah.
That is the goddamn it.
At 40.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've had 39 hard years, and these last 2 have really damaged me. And I look at Pat, and he's like lost all the dad weight and shit, and I'm like, I just turned to my wife the other day, and I'm like, you know what? I think Pat's juicing.
No, man.
I was like, there's no way he lost all this weight. He's like in good shape. I'm lucky to get 4 hours of sleep every night.
I think I actually do have a theory. I'll tell you, that is interesting. I haven't said this out loud. I was telling my nephew, though. So I ate like dog shit. I ate like shit for like 10 days over the holidays, man. Stuffing carbs in my mouth, drinking beers.
Oh, yum.
So good.
But I weighed in. I'm still like under 170, and I was 190 for a long time. Part of it was, being fat because I had a kid and stuff. But you know what I stopped doing?
What?
I stopped creatine. And it directly coincided with just nothing really else has changed except I'm just walking around like 25 pounds lighter. And I'm like, I wonder if it's because I've just been steadily on creatine the whole time.
Oh, interesting.
Well, what is the creatine? So, what effects did you lose that were benefits of the creatine since you stopped doing it? Like, is it just a total win?
Definitely like a little less strong. I mean, when you lose 25 pounds, 10 or 15, probably 15 or something, or muscle, whatever. But
sure.
It feels good to be lighter and just joints are better, back's better. Are you are you like a creatine guy, Forrest?
Me? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, so I go through spurts of it. Like if I'm lifting heavily, I'm taking 5 milligrams of creatine every day in my protein shake, which I am right now. I only started literally the day before Christmas because I finally have a stint at home for like 2 months. So I was like, all right, I'm going to lift 6 days a week, creatine, healthy food, blah blah blah, minus 2 days. So I've been really disciplined, except for on Christmas and on New Year's Eve.
Of course.
But otherwise, I've always loved, I definitely feel the positive effects of creatine being like quicker recovery time, a little bit stronger, that one extra, lift or whatever it happens to be. But
what if I take it and the only thing I'm lifting is my baby?
Then
You'll balloon up
you
like
will
a
get big fat. Don't do that.
All right, real quick, back to the Everglades. Pat, are you bringing any weapons?
I haven't got that far. I just found this news out.
Machete, at least, right?
I was all excited. I was excited for my winter gear. Now I don't even know what to wear. Bug nets. I'm gonna bring a bug net. I'll bring my buck knife.
You want to know? You want to know a little trick? This is for all the brosteners to ever visit Florida. Skin so soft. Okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's a lotion of some type?
It's a lotion called Skin So Soft, and I don't know what is in it. But it's the only thing that no-see-ums will not go through. Any repel, any bug spray, anything made for no-see-ums does not work a fucking dime. But Skin So Soft for babies' bottoms all over your body, no-see-ums, guaranteed.
That's fascinating. They just something about the fragrance that they can't stand.
I don't know if it's just a layer of grime that they can't get through. I don't know, but I don't care because there is nothing worse than being attacked by no-see-ums. So
that's a valuable tip. Listen to this podcast for more.
I gotta say though, like there's something called a Gladesman, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's someone who's lived in the Everglades. They're they're doing it. I mean, they're calling it the Outback, but they're trudging
the American Outback.
Yeah, chest deep through swamps and mangroves and this brackish water. It's a fucking fascinating confluence. Like you were truly walking through water.
Yeah.
That houses alligators, crocs, and bull sharks.
Cottonmouths.
It's essentially Australia.
Yeah. I have a great buddy there, Pete. If you're, Chris Gillette, and we have some other mutual buddies. But if you're looking for just a young go-getter kid who can be an awesome guide that really gets it and is tough as nails, it's this kid, Pete. He's like 22 years old. He's like fucking 6'2", super handsome, like really.
I hate him.
I know it's so off-putting. Yeah,
I'm sure he's got a beautiful penis as well.
That's the problem. It's like really off-putting how nice he is.
Flawless.
Yeah, flawless human being, and just like a real sweetheart though. But he's not a Gladesman. I think he's from the Midwest, but he's been in the Glades for like 8 or 10 years, and he's really, really knowledgeable. He's a biologist. So if you need like a guide or anything, I'll definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely might. I mean, yeah. And for anyone who's listening who's just like, why are they talking about this? It really is a fascinating place. Like, if you're into the outdoors and just putting yourself through hell in the name of seeing some cool shit, like, it's hard to believe it's in America. It's as close to the Amazon as you can get.
It is the Amazon now because all the species that live in it are from South America. There's anacondas and cichlids and armored catfish, and it's just crazy. I mean, you see more invasive species than you do native species going through it. It's absolutely wild.
While we're on the topic, Forrest, I don't know if I've ever asked you this on the podcast. What would you say is the harshest terrain that you've ever trekked through?
Ooh,
that I've ever trekked through.
It only took 110 podcasts to get to the most obvious question of all time.
I mean, I think the desert, like being in the desert in the summertime is the harshest. Death Valley, going to Baja, and I've been to Baja in July and August a few times. I don't think I would survive 6 hours out of the car.
Right.
Without being around water, air conditioning, whatever, the ocean. If you're in the ocean, it's fine. But if you go to like if you're in central Baja, like, I mean, I don't mean like the center of the peninsula, but like not on the coast, and your car breaks down and you don't have any water, there's nothing. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Les Stroud or Bear Grylls. I don't care how much you piss in your own face. You are not surviving more than like 24 hours. It's just it's the heat and the sun, and it's just like it's so oppressive.
No hope for shade or relief, right?
No, there's no trees. Yeah. There's a few cactuses and a couple rocks that are all like 120 degrees. You can barely touch them. I think that's the worst environment, just for survival in that. And then we've talked about this before, like mangroves, trying to get through mangroves.
Yeah.
You know,
right?
Yeah, terrible.
Dude,
which is the Everglades, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
The footage of you guys in Myanmar.
Yeah.
Trudging through those mangroves, where like every 3 feet. Describe what you're doing when you're going through that really deep mud.
It's just like you're up to your like dick in mud, sometimes to your nipples. It's like you can't really move, and then you have to like pull yourself up on these mangroves, which are covered in razor sharp barnacles, and then sort of like seal over them, like back into the mud. I mean, you saw the photos, head to toe. Like the only thing you're going like this just to get it out of your eyes. You're just head to toe in mud, and there's vipers and crates everywhere. There's man-eating crocodiles literally while we're there killing people. I mean, it's just like it, and you're just not getting anywhere. Like Mitch, like jumps off the boat day one, goes straight to like nipples deep and starts screaming for help. So we have to like throw him a rope, and then like 4 people have to pull him out to where he then has to like belly slide on the mud to the bank. I mean, it's just like everything, like every step is so taxing and difficult. It was that environment.
All in the name of a 1 hour of cable television that they aired on Saturday morning.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's so funny. I look back. Look, when we talk Extinct or Alive or Mysterious Creatures, some of those shows I've done that have like big conservation impacts, I'm like, great. I wouldn't change a thing. But then I look back at certain other things that we've done, and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, why? For a 40-minute Animal Planet show that was sandwiched between like dog groomers and like fake pet police, you know? And it's like, here I am literally, I mean, Patrick, you know, shitting myself to death on the floor of a desert in Madagascar in the name of a TV show. And in that particular sequence, as you know, Patrick, there wasn't actually looking for the hippo right then. It was to get the vistas and the area of Singi. And I'm literally like dying, like actually physically dying. And
with no possibility for help if you actually do start
absolutely
dying.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And all in the name of a 40-minute Animal Planet show that 9 people watched. Sandwiched between dog makeovers and I mean, it's just fucking crazy.
Peter, what's the roughest that you've been in? Was it when you flipped your car over in East Chicago or South Chicago?
Like the roughest situation I've been in?
The roughest terrain.
I mean, let me think. Listen, man, I've been in a lot of rough terrain. I was a kid who liked to play in creeks when I was younger. I was rolling around in poison ivy, in woods, man. And then, I ended up on like the east side of Chicago one night. I was at a bar, and I was literally on the brink of blackout drunk with my girlfriend, my brother, and a couple friends. And some kids, and I've told this story before, but it's still funny. So some guys in a taxi cab, a yellow taxi cab, if anyone remembers what those are.
Sure do.
Drove past us and just went, dorks, as they drove past.
And it got steep.
And of course I was blackout drunk, and I'm just like, fuck you, stop the car, stop the fucking car. Stops the car. And the last thing I remember is like 2, 3, maybe 4, like large, bald Eastern European men. I'm talking like straight off the boat, Ukrainian, Russian.
Don't want to mess with those guys.
Hop out of this car, and I just go up, and I remember like getting into position, and all I remember is swinging.
You probably looked like the Notre Dame logo. You were like,
and all I remember is just coming to on the street. Girlfriend was crying. I had a big footprint on my stomach. Terrible.
Hey, at least she was still there.
Yeah.
So East side Chicago. West,
I mean, that's way
remember.
worse than the desert, dude, or Madagascar.
Yes,
it is. That is.
Humans are terrible.
Humans are
We're
terrible.
awful.
Humans are terrible. Patrick, what's yours?
Terrain? Man, that's a tough question. I'll tell you what was surprisingly awful and grueling was hiking through the tundra.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard the term tundra. I just sort of
It's pronounced tundra.
Tundra.
That's right.
Tundra.
Zebra.
But I
Out
I
of
assumed
space.
tundra was just sort of like being in the Arctic in a big field.
Right.
But it's basically sod or like grass that has glacial water running underneath it, and it like soaks up and puffs it up, and it feels like you're walking across a field of pillows.
Yeah, the bog.
And yeah, so there's some times in Greenland where we had like 10 or like, I think we had a 13-mile hike one day, and, you know, all your shit on your back. And it is exhausting. I mean, it's harder than walking through sand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got to film and shit.
mosquito and just ruthless
And the mosquitoes are ruthless in Greenland, right? Yeah.
They lay their eggs in the tundra. They remain frozen, and then they wait for something to walk over them in the summer. Right, so they're waiting for some sort of mammal, so a herd of muskox, reindeer, whatever it is. They're waiting for something to walk over them, and that's when they hatch and come out. So you're basically just creating a black cloud of mosquitoes as you hike through this, you know, this fucking 13 miles of walking across pillows.
Just waiting to get ambushed by fucking malaria-carrying mosquitoes.
Luckily, there's no malaria up there, but they're ruthless and they bite. So,
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
So,
Guys, can I? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna change the direction here. Are you up for that?
Change it up.
Me too. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll try mine. We talked about what incredible shape the Spiceman is in, what amobulous shape you are.
Lift up your shirt, mate.
Peter. No.
I'll do it if you do
and
it.
so this made me question this. What are your resolutions for this year, 2023? What are we looking at, guys? What are we doing? It doesn't have to be a big epiphany. Just like, what are we going to do?
I have one. I have
I'm going to
one.
get my fucking fruit picker back if it kills me.
No, this is real. You know, as you get older, kids who are listening to this, you really start to kind of become obsessed with your own life, and you stop answering people's texts and calls just because you're lazy, and you let it just slide away. You know, I'll text back tomorrow, and then you don't. You're like, well, they won't care, but people care, and then they stop hitting you up, and you have no friends by the time you're 40. So and it's really hard once you have the kid too, because it's just like what, this motherfucker thinks I got all day to answer a text.
It's weird because Forrest is very prompt and he has a kid.
No.
Well, he also, I mean, he does whatever he wants. He cheats on his wife. He beats his kid. Like, it's not a big, it's not a big deal.
I have a drug and alcohol problem. These are just, these are things I choose. Yeah.
So it's simple. My resolution is to promptly get back to people who call or text. That's it. Simple.
Good. Smart.
No, that's really good. And it was insightful the way you did it. I agree with you. You become so bad about it that you lose friends. Literally.
Yep.
And
it feels like shit.
No,
you think you won't care.
Yeah, you think you won't care. And you think that the other person doesn't care, but they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
When
do.
you're, like you said, you're like, man, like, whatever. Like, you've texted me twice already today. I'm going to text you next week. And then you're like, everybody cares in this situation, including me. I feel like a jerk.
Right. That's a good one. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you mine. I'm going to try and quit nicotine.
Okay. Good for you. You're going to be fun to be around for a bit.
I think just generally
taper.
I love it. It's great. It's fun. Gives you something to do when you're writing or working, whatever. Yeah. But I'm just like, it can't be helping me.
Right.
It can't be improving my life.
Listen,
so
I don't.
Just gonna get rid of it.
I don't think it's that bad for you as long as you're ingesting it in like a healthy way.
Yeah, I don't use any tobacco products, but nicotine gum.
I think you should stick to it, mate. This makes you smarter and sharper.
I think I'm just gonna try and fucking kick it and just have one less vice.
There you go.
All right, I won't support
Good
it.
for you. I support both of your. What is mine? I think, and this is so like basic. I'm gonna try and eat healthier, like for me and for the planet, because I work out like a fucking Trojan, as Patrick knows. when we go on shoots. And I use that as a justification to eat whatever I feel like all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And I'm
yeah.
oh, no, I grind it out super hard, an hour and a half today. Good for you, Peter. And I'm, now I'm going to have 3 beers and eat a pizza for dinner. And that's not, that was fine when I was 26, by the way. That's not fine at 36. No. Yeah. So
it's
I think
smart.
That's my move.
It's the best part of having it be like when you kind of make your New Year's resolution and it's like right around Christmas and you're like, okay, I'm going to give all this shit up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do fucking 3-4 times as much for the next week.
Exactly.
Yeah. Be as fat as you can. Challenge.
In the gap week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be it just the most disgusting version of yourself that you can be.
I'll just add to that, when you get older, and it just happens like 1 year, you put on that weight over Christmas, it ain't coming off easy. Like, it's taking a half a year to get rid of it. Straight up. You're just like, what the fuck? I was always able to just lose weight immediately. Yep. It's like, nope, you got to fucking work your ass off and not eat. Like, I'm talking, you can't just eat like normally like you did either. It's like you got to be having a fucking salad for lunch every day in the week. And like, so you got to, as you get older, you got to do these things. Reach out to your friends, eat a salad. Remove 1 shell if they give you 2 on a taco. Just do it.
That's good.
You mean at Taco Bell specifically, the thing you get? That's the hardest off.
I did have a little Reddit rundown if you guys are into it.
Very into it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Very into it.
A little Reddit rundown.
Oh, and then you reminded me because of social media. I gotta read a tweet I got today after your Reddit rundown.
I hope it's a mean tweet.
It is actually, but I will pull it up while you do your Reddit rundown, so I'm ready.
Ooh, excuse me. These fat tires are really bubbling up.
Yeah, when was the last time you slogged 3 in less than an hour?
I told the wife
like,
that the podcast
lunch.
is being recorded at 8. This is like a real treat because I'm going to have 20 minutes alone after this.
Nice.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry. So
Reddit rundown. Here we go.
Reddit rundown. Just little fun things as I go through my week looking at Reddit. I come across things, and you guys know what this is.
I do.
It's been used in the Battle Royale many times.
Indeed.
I'd never actually seen one of these. I just used it because I knew what its powers were.
Okay.
The harpy eagle, huge, majestic bird of prey. From South America, they can grow to the height of an average human, and they pluck monkeys from trees.
I'm going to tell you, the one on the right, that's a little kid inside a bird costume.
Dude, it's the craziest. It's the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. The one on the right, bro.
It's insane, dude.
Are you kidding me with this fucking thing? So yeah, that's there. The next thing I read, it was pretty interesting. There's butterflies and moths that appear on their wings. It shows a picture of snakes so that they defend against predators. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Well, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Look at this. That's bananas. That's to like 2 snakes that are going to fucking eat your head.
Yep.
All right.
I've never seen it. That's real?
That's real, bro.
That's real. Yep.
Forrest, can you shed any insight on this?
No, it's called biomimicry. It's when an animal adapts to mimic something else to ward off predators or, which is different from when an animal like a poison dart frog gets colors. Biomimicry means they're mimicking something else, right? And you see it a lot. You see the monocle cobra with the eye on the back of its head so things don't bite in the back of the head, the butterflies with patterns, stick insects, the list goes on and on and on. It is really, really cool. And that particular angle of that butterfly makes it, really stand out.
So that's, by the way, for anyone who's only listening, when you get home, treat yourself. Google Atlas moth.
There you go.
That is what that's called. It is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Bonkers. All right. So, just scrolling Reddit. Come along a picture of this, okay? Mm-hmm. This is from the movie Alien, right? It's obviously the little alien that's in the mouth.
It's a screenshot, yeah.
What is this, Forrest? A ringed caecilian?
Sicilian.
It's not only is it fucking scary as shit looking, but it might be the world's only known venomous amphibian.
Correct. I really want to keep one, by the way. They're gnarly. By the way, in the Everglades, Patrick, of course.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they have Sicilians. They're big amphibians that are sort of man, this is hard to explain. If you took a legless lizard and turned it into an amphibian, this is what you'd get. Big, crazy teeth, super voracious predators, basically no eyes, no anything, just this snakish, wet body.
I mean, those teeth are horrific. Look how they curl back. Mm-hmm. Those are just... Has a human ever been bitten by one of these?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're pretty nasty. Chris Gillette, if you see him when you go to Florida, to ask him about it. He's got a pretty good story. There's a handful of species of Sicilians, by the way. There's not just one kind of them. And it does vary in toxicity and other things. But yeah, no, they're crazy.
Peter,
and they live in the Everglades.
Click off.
I won't ever.
Forrest, go up and read from the top left towards the center in that red bar.
What did you do? What horrible thing did you say to someone?
It says, Peter's showing us on his screen sharing. It says, your account has permanently been suspended from Reddit. Click here for more info. What did you do?
Okay, so, well, I mean, I'm not proud of this, but there was a guy in the gym. I think I might have talked about this in the gym bathroom, and he was sitting with his disgusting bare ass on the bench where, like, I sit stuff down when I get ready.
No towel.
And so I took a picture from behind. Guy's face isn't in it or anything, and I put it on our Trashy.
Okay.
They banned all 6 of my current accounts, and now anytime I try to create an account, it's immediately banned. Like, I don't know if they know my MAC address on my computer, my phone, but I cannot. Do. Yeah, I can't create an account. But on that note, check this out. Big-headed turtle I came across this thing, and
I've seen one in person.
Look at it. Its head is so big
that's a Super Mario character.
Can't even pull its head into the shell.
Chinese species, the Chinese big-headed turtle. They have them at the Turtle Conservancy in Ojai, by the way, which is where I got to see them.
Oh my God!
A dream species for me to keep. You guys know I have a bunch of different freshwater turtles. I would love to have one of these guys. Look it up.
What advantage does having such a large head give them if they can't even get it inside that shell?
Well, one, they crush mollusks and things with that big jaw. But 2, it's a sexual selection device. So it's the males that evolve these big heads. Just like a peacock's tail, it's something the females look at and be like, hey, you got a big head.
You can't even wear a hat.
That's right.
Dude, that's incredible. Dude, this is the best Reddit rundown you've ever done.
It's really good.
It's been a while, so I've collected a whole bunch. I picked out the top ones. And finally, the last thing that I'm going to play for you, I'm just going to try not to read the title. I don't even know if it's in the title, but I'm going to show you a clip of a video.
Okay.
Oh, I guess it tells you right there.
It's okay.
Parachuting beavers from the 1950s. There's a whole news article. This was newly found footage. They threw these beavers out and let them parachute to repopulate an area, to fucking repopulate this area with these fucking beavers. Are you kidding me?
I lived in the wrong era. I really did. Because if I was alive and doing my job in the 1950s, I'd be like, all right, we got to get beavers back into this lake region. Parachutes? Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Well, we could land them with choppers. No, don't be silly. We could hike them at... No. I already said the word parachute.
Yeah.
And like that was conservation back then. It was just like, hey, you literally in the last like 40 years is where it's become this whole like hoity-toity ridiculous, like there's all these protocols and shit that actually don't make any fucking difference. And I can go on a rant about this because we've been doing conservation for a couple hundred years and we're still losing the fucking battle. But 3 to 40 years ago, like you could just fucking come up with it. It was like, hey, we're going to put beavers in because it's going to fix it. It's like, okay, great. How are we going to get them there? I don't know. I'll get like a crop dusting plane and build a parachute out of my bed sheet, throw them out the fucking plane. Boom, we got beavers.
So this was in Idaho. They did this to repopulate a remote wilderness area with beavers because obviously the beaver trade during like the Lewis and Clark era was, the beaver pelts were like all the rage, right?
Yep.
So they wiped them out.
Super warm, super soft, all the good stuff.
So they dropped them out of parachutes in these little plywood boxes. And then there's just a parachute and a plywood box sitting there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you think they sent someone around to pick up that parachute in the box?
Absolutely not. There's no way.
Because I was going to say, if so, why not just have that guy release the beaver when he
Take the
goes
beaver.
there?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, that'll be good. That's conservation in the 50s, baby. That's why I want to be there.
Release the beaver.
Yeah, they're like, the beaver will eat the wood from the crate and maybe make a bed sheet out of the parachute.
Listen, I mean, it's brilliant. I love it. Beavers are amazing creatures. I love beaver so much. It makes me so happy that they're repopulating the area with beaver, and I hope everybody gets their fair share.
Until you get charged by one.
All right, I got two things. First of all, I got a mean tweet. You want to hear it? This came in.
Yes.
This came in at 2:35 p.m. today from Thomas Quinn 999 Thomas at Forrest Galante. I hate you. I have been binging Extinct or Alive in the Wild Times for 2 weeks. I can't watch anything else. That's it. That's the whole tweet.
It's beautiful.
Actually, a very nice tweet.
Very well composed.
It's really nice. It's really nice when you read it aloud because it starts with "I hate you."
That's right. It's all in the delivery.
Guts.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys know what time it is? I think I know what time it is.
Oh no!
Do you know what time
Kill
it is?
me.
Yeah.
I had a few fat tires. Yeah.
Good for you. I love that mouth noise you just did. All right. So
This is impressive.
I thought of this when we were looking
I'm an animal.
at the big-headed turtle there. It's a battle royale I don't think we've ever done. Okay. It's football season, is it not?
It is.
Sure is.
They say a good defense is the best offense. Don't agree with that, but they say it. So we are going to go snake draft. We are going to build the ultimate defensive animal. Snake draft, it's not about attacking. It's about being indestructible and having the most ultimate defense. Give it whatever armor, whatever weaponry, whatever you like to just be the biggest tank of an animal.
Is this, okay, so like head, body, legs kind of
Head,
thing?
body, legs. Standard battle royale rules.
Got it. All right,
Okay.
Forrest, you go first.
Okay, I shall.
Wait, special power too, or just
no.
head,
Just
body, legs?
Head, body, legs. Head, body, legs.
Okay.
Special.
Okay.
And this can be, I would say this could be anything from anywhere at any time, which is pretty, not dinosaurs, because they're all just tanks.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah. All right, I am going to start with the body of a one-horned rhino.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's a tank.
It's nice. And remember, everything scales to the size of the body. Remember that.
That's right. Okay. I know what I'm going to go with here, so I'm just going to go for it. I'm also choosing my body, my midsection, my torso, if you will. We've talked about it recently on the podcast. It's never been used in a battle royale. I'm taking the body of a gar.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yeah.
Real yoked. He is on TRT. I knew it.
Absolutely yoked. It looks like me. It is
like me.
just there's nothing could ever run through this thing.
It does look that way. Yeah. That is the perfect lineman.
All right. I mean, you guys are both taking this in a manner where you're going to be, you're essentially planning on being attacked head on by another large animal. See, I'm going to be a little bit more evasive than that. So I'm going to start off with a body and therefore the special ability also, fuck off, of a mimic octopus. That's right. A mimic octopus. They change their color, shape, movements, and actions to mimic a predator that wouldn't get bothered. It's the ultimate form of disguise, and it can mimic upwards of 10 predators, including both of what you said.
Won't it be hard,
Fact.
though? Because it'll be wearing a jersey. So
Why would it be wearing a jersey?
it's playing a football game.
Playing
It's
a
not
football
playing
game.
in the fucking Greek Olympics. And
Wait a minute. I didn't know we were playing a football game.
It doesn't have to be. We're just going defensive here. You're good.
All right,
You're
good
good.
pick.
I'm sorry. Listen, I was already Googling while you were explaining the game.
Good pick. All right, you're up for one
Fuck
more.
off. All right, I'm up for one more.
Yeah.
So I'm going the head of a rhinoceros. Fuck you.
No, I already picked that. You can't do that.
Hippo, head of a hippo.
I mean, that is an intimidating head. You stick that on the, I don't even
It
know what
still
body
has
you
the
just-
mimic ability of the octopus as well. It
It's
transfers
gonna
to
be
the
a
head.
very small animal, though. I might just be able to jump right over it. But
No, I'm not trying to attack you. What are you talking about? I'm the one that is defending. I'm trying not to be attacked.
It's true.
Okay. I'm going to pick, since everything
you.
scales up
TRT's caught in his brain.
to the size of the body, I'm going to pick the legs of a locust.
Oh, wow.
Strong leg muscles. Their leg muscle fibers are 1,000 times stronger than that of a human's legs.
Yep.
They have super powered legs. Put that on a gar's body. I don't even need a head.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Nice. Okay. I'm up for
All right.
2.
You up for 2 or 3?
Hold on. I got to write that down. All right. So I have the body of an Indian one-horned rhino. Basically a living tank. But in order to make it impenetrable from the ground up, I'm going to put it on the scaled up legs of a pangolin. You look at a pangolin, they got claws, big hind feet, super strong for digging, and of course the scalage, just not letting you get through those legs. I don't care who you are, you're not running through them. And finally, to round out my incredible critter, I'm going to give it the head of an alligator snapping turtle. Just a big armored head, nothing but beak. I mean, this thing is...
Nothing but beak.
Yeah, no, this thing's a beast.
That's a beast. All right, I'm going to go with my head. I have a gar body, unbelievably strong legs, 1,000 times stronger than a human's. I'm going to just give it a scary head. I'm just going for, even if it were playing football, it's wearing a helmet, you can still see into the helmet. I'm going to give it the head of a lamprey.
Wow. Gross.
You look at that thing's mouth. I mean, it is from out of space.
Also, scaling up, that's like lamprey mouth, like this coming at you. That's terrible.
That's
terrible.
No good.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got the body of a mimic octopus. I've got the head of a hippopotamus. And my creature shall not have legs or arms because it will have the wings of a harpy eagle and will easily be able to fly over the top of you guys and score a touchdown on offense or defend against being attacked from you. It doesn't matter. Does not matter.
How do you not get how the game works still? Like after it's unbelievable. Herpes eagle. All right, to recap, Brosteners, if you're listening, weigh in. Tell us what your
winner, armpits.
Oh my God, you're sweaty. Tell us what your battle royale defensive critter would be. Peter's is the body. Good luck building these, Dave Sunshine. The body of a mimic octopus sporting a hippo's head and a harpy eagle's wings. Okay. Yeah, give a vote for Peter if you think that's winning some defense contests. I, however, have the body of an Indian one-horned rhino, which is sporting the legs and claws of a pangolin and the head of an alligator snapping turtle. Come at me, bitch. Finally, to round us out, Papa P, the producer himself, has the body of a gar, the incredibly powerful scaled-up legs of a locust, and just a black hole of despair, the head of a lamprey stuck on this thing.
That you just
sounds like
you just channeled BTG for a minute.
With what?
With the black hole of despair. That's like such a BTG thing to say.
I like it. Can
we get him on a goddamn podcast already? Come on.
He's waiting to be invited, boy.
We need to.
Waiting to be invited. Hey, this has been a lot of fun.
It's been good. Happy to the public pod. If you'd like to see more of this bullshit, sorry, I've had a feis beers. I need to calm down real quick. Go to wildtimes.club/info for all of the links. Go to patreon.com/wildtimespod to check out the Patreon where you get 4 extra episodes a month of this wonderful podcast.
That's a lot of content.
It's a lot.
It takes a long time to do it.
Sign up for that.
Yeah.
It's good. You should sign up for it. And wildtimes.club. Love you guys.
If you made it this far, because I'm convinced everybody tunes out, just put a nice comment. Just say, hey, Peter's neighbor, F you. Don't write it out. Just write F you, or YouTube will ban you.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone getting banned.
Yeah, letters F ban. Followed by letters U. Peter's neighbor, F you.
Yeah, Google's algorithms will not be able to figure that out. Good night, everybody.
Black hole of despair.
Yeah. T-shirt. All right. Have a great night, everybody.
All right, guys. Everybody good?
Later.
Toodles. Bye.